Hey guys, so in preparation for Friday's game, I've got another quick recap for y'all so that when Friday rolls around, we can have fresh on our minds what exactly transpired last session, and y'all can begin making some plans for where you're going forward in this coming session. So, to begin, the party had just dealt with the Wolf Pack, a subgroup of these Red Brand ruffians, these mercenaries in Phandalin, being led by Balin, who is kind of the second in command to Jatham, as Bulgriff and Azrael notice, uh, as they will know, I should say. The party took hostage one of the fighters, an old Malice Fornforth, a half elf, who began to divulge some information to the party, particularly what the Red Brand had been up to within the past 2 weeks, while Azrael and Bulgriff were being held captive in the Goblin camp. In the wake of the slaughter that happened in the town center, Volrune came running out. He had been uh, trying to decipher and disseminate some letters that had been written by the Rockseeker brothers, who were the entire reason the party is even in Phandalin to begin with. Following behind him was Sildar Hallwinter. He was the gentleman that the party had encountered in the Goblin hideout. He had been riding to Phandalin, accompanying Gundren Rockseeker. Sildar Hallwinter's mission is to travel on behalf of the Lord's Alliance to Phandalin and try to establish some order in this frontier town, and also trying to find out what happened to a representative of the Lord's Alliance, an Irano Albrick, who had been sent to Phandalin 6 months ago, and had been briefly seen in town and then disappeared entirely. Irano Albrick is a mage. And Harbin Wester, the town master, the portly, spineless individual, was less than pleased with your group trying to instigate more conflict with the Red Brand. But as you began interrogating O'Malice, he informed the party that the Red Brands had started taking prisoners, kidnapping people from the roads around the area and selling them into slavery, as well as slaying one of the local farmers, a Thel Drenadar. He had caught Balin, one of the kind of the leader of the wolf pack. He had caught Balin leering at his wife, and so Thel confronted Balin, and Balin summarily slew him and then kidnapped his wife, his daughter, and his son and took them to their hideout. Old Malice told the party where it was at, and with the threat of his life being taken from him, agreed to take the party to the actual hideout of the Red Brand. At this point, Sildar Hallwinter and Harbin Wester asked for a representative, either Bulgriff or Azrael, to stay behind and give a full account of what you knew about the Red Brand and help just fill in some blanks. So, Azrael stayed behind, and it was at about this time that y'all noticed Oltan went missing. But regardless, Ronan, Volrune, Zalith, Bulgriff, and O'Malice began traveling to the Tresdar Manor due east of town through the woods, and you found the entrance, as well as Horace and Jasper, two Red Brand guards that were protecting that entrance. As the party was trying to come up with a plan to enter into the manor, an eccentric and enigmatic individual being Osho appeared out of seemingly nowhere and had an explosive first encounter with Ronan the wizard. The sudden flash of magic did alert the guards, and your group dealt with them. With this new individual accompanying you, you made your way into the secret hideout. And after traveling about 100 feet through a tunnel, you came to this large open cavern that was roughly 20 feet tall, that had two large stone columns and a pair of bridges that went over this 20-foot wide in some spots, 20-foot deep crevasse. And there you encountered a evil, maligned entity, cursed being known as a Nothic. And with Ronan's arcane knowledge, he was able to inform the group that this was an individual that had once been a wizard, and having greater aspirations than they had ability, became cursed after trying to find some ancient knowledge, and became this creature that has very little to no recollection of what happened in its former life, but it has some psychic and telepathic abilities, and was probing each of your minds for new secrets, as it is very avarice in nature at this point, and longing for new information, new secrets. The entity mostly left y'all alone, seeing that it was grossly outnumbered. And then Osho heard some noise coming from a direction. So the party began making their way in the direction of the noise, with Bolgriff taking point and Old Malice on his shoulder. Bolgriff kicked in a door and discovered a sad little goblin that fainted, and then a giant morning star collided with Old Malice, killing him instantly, and began a wave of combat as three bugbears began accosting the party. In a almost Benny Hill style fight, the party ran in and out of fog and smoke, and eventually gained the upper hand and slew these bugbears. Y'all then revived Droop the Goblin, as you come to find out was his name, and he was not grateful, but seeing the writing on the wall and the blood that was pooling around him, decided that he would give you all as much information as he could and be as amenable, so as not to meet the same fate as the bugbears. He told you all the layout of the hideout and where the prisoners were being kept. He did not mention anything about anybody else that you may be interested in. But with that combat taken care of, the party then went and took a little rest in a supply alcove where you found some more healing potions, took some time to lick your wounds, and prepare for further delving into this hideout. So, that's where we will pick up on Friday. If y'all have any questions, comments, or concerns, just let me know. And I look forward to seeing y'all. Take care, guys.